Good morning. It has been the custom since I became Chief Justice on the last day of the full sitting of a justice who is retiring, and I have had all too many justices who've been retiring since I became Chief Justice, to provide them with a written tribute, which will be placed on our website and available to all. Today is Justice Botsford's Day. Before I do that, I want to welcome a number of people. Justice Botsford's husband, Steve Rosenfeld, I see her son, Sam. I see his fiancee, Uganma, Mazel Tov to you, as well as their daughter, Sarah. And we welcome all of them. I also welcome Chief Justice Carey, and I'm especially pleased to see Harry Spence back from an illness, who was here today in part to honor Justice Botsford, as well as various Chief Justices, including I see Chief Justice Fabricant from our Superior Court, where all seven of us once sat, and Chief Justice Dawley, and I'm sure I'm missing some, but hopefully they will excuse me if I have not referenced them. This was meant to be done on Thursday. It's perhaps appropriate that it was postponed till Valentine's Day. And I will try to do this without breaking down into tears, but I'm not sure that I will succeed in doing that, so you will forgive me if I fail. What can I say upon the retirement from the bench of a justice who has been my mentor and my good friend since my second day as a judge on the Superior Court more than 19 years ago, who is as fine a writer and thinker as has ever served on this court, who has been the most thoughtful editor of her fellow justices' opinions, who in her gentle way has influenced nearly every corner of the judiciary, and who hates to be the center of attention. Losing Justice Botsford is like a basketball team losing a player who scored 30 points and 12 assists per game. She scored points by taking on the most challenging cases, but it is her assists that will be the hardest to replace. I am not the only justice whom she has mentored. In the spring of last year, when I learned that this court was going to lose not only Justice Spina, but also Justices Cordy and Duffley, I begged Justice Botsford not to retire at the end of the court year as she had intended. I knew how important her example, her guidance, her humor, and her wisdom would be to the three new justices. Although I was prepared to cry real tears, I did not need to. Justice Botsford stepped up to help with the challenge, as she has helped with so many challenges facing the judiciary in her 26 years on the bench. Not only did she stay and serve as a mentor for her sweet mate, Justice Budd, but she took the lead in creating the first ever education program for new SJC justices, a 16-hour course taught in 8 sessions, which we will have the opportunity to offer again in September for our newest two justices. Equally importantly, she exemplifies the culture of this court, a court that is rigorous but respectful, that focuses on the big picture but also on the precise choice of words, a court where the justices listen to each other and work collectively to craft opinions that attempt to solve challenging legal and practical problems. I think our 3 newest justices will agree that their success in these past few months owes a great deal to Justice Botsford. Her role as an educator and mentor has not been limited to helping SJC justices. Former Superior Court Chief Justice Barbara Rouse told me, and I quote, "It was a testament to her generous nature and collegial manner that almost every Superior Court judge thought of Justice Botsford as his or her mentor." And I thought I was special. As the chair of the board of directors of the Flashner Judicial Institute, she was instrumental in the creation of many judicial training programs, including the all-court implicit bias program last year. She has been a leader in the creation of the trial court J2J mentoring program that the Dean of the National Judicial College told me last week was, in his estimation, the gold standard for judicial mentoring in this country. The Botsford law clerks, many of whom are here, speak of her with pride, reverence, and a smile. Among Justice Botsford's many talents is the ability to read and write letters, words, and numbers backward. One of her law clerks gave her a clock with backward numbers as a farewell gift, which graces her lobby. I am told that law students interviewing for a law clerk job are required to read that clock, no doubt as a test of whether they will know the law backwards and forward. Her work ethic and perseverance are legion. One law clerk recalls that when Justice Botsford was sitting with her reviewing edits to a draft opinion, the justice suffered a nosebleed, but that did not stop her from finishing her edits. Her work in education was not limited to the mentoring of justices, trial court judges, and law clerks. As a Superior Court judge, in the case of Hancock versus Commissioner of Education, Justice Botsford concluded in a 318-page decision that students in 4 school districts, Brockton, Lowell, Springfield, and Winchendon, were not receiving the level of education that the Commonwealth has a constitutional duty to provide. Chief Justice Margaret Marshall described Justice Botsford's findings of fact as a, quote, model of precision, comprehensiveness, and meticulous attention to detail that will stand as a compelling, instructive account of the current state of public education in Massachusetts. Although the SJC declined to adopt her conclusion that the Commonwealth had failed to meet its constitutional obligation, there can be little doubt that her critique of public education helped to prod the Commonwealth to improve the quality of education for every child in this Commonwealth. In view of all that she has accomplished in education, it is more than a little ironic that Justice Botsford abandoned her plans to become a teacher following her graduation from Barnard College after only 6 weeks at the Harvard School of Education. Instead, she went on to obtain a law degree at her beloved Northeastern University School of Law. Upon her graduation, she served as a law clerk to SJC Justice Francis Quirico, whom she describes as, quote, one of the most patient, humble people I've ever known. After having a cup of coffee at the law firm of Hill and Barlow, she was hired by Attorney General Francis Bellotti to join his government bureau, the training ground of so many great lawyers and judges. It was there that she became reacquainted with Stephen Rosenfeld, who later became her partner at a small private law firm and her partner in life. She soon returned to the public sector as an assistant district attorney in the Middlesex DA's office under the leadership of Scott Harshbarger, yet another great training ground. After 16 years as an attorney in public and private practice, she was appointed in 1989 by Governor Michael Dukakis to the Superior Court, where she served until Governor Deval Patrick appointed her to the SJC in 2007. Chief Justice Rouse said of Justice Botsford, "If I had ever been given the opportunity as Chief Justice to send to central casting for an ideal Superior Court judge, Margot Botsford would have gotten the nod. A judge's judge, a lawyer's judge, and a litigant's judge, all rolled into one." I am slowly moving through the 5 stages of grief at her departure from this court, and I know that everyone at the court shares that grief. I take solace in knowing that there will be yet another chapter in her life in the law, and that she will continue to be a mentor, an educator, and a wise advocate. I will end with a description of Justice Botsford given by her longtime assistant, friend, and confidant, Joyce Hurley, who wrote, quote, "Her consideration, her caring, her interest in others, her humanity, knows no bounds. Justice Botsford, in case you cannot tell, I, as well as the justices and everyone in the Supreme Judicial Court family, will miss you dearly. Thank you.